topic of today's webinar is Student Power to Accelerate Your Simulation Gaming. And we have with us our very eminent speaker for the webinar, Dr. Ryoju Hamada, visiting associate professor at Kumamoto University, Japan. First of all, I would like to request Vice Chancellor of Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya and Conference Chairperson of ISAGA 2021, Dr. Upinder Dhar, for the welcome address.
Good afternoon from India to everybody. I hope that everybody is keeping well, managing the affairs. I think most of us are working from home only. At least in India, we are working from home at present. Well, almost every week, every Saturday, most of us are meeting for the webinars, and so far we had more than 20 webinars now, and all forceful and very effective speakers we had. I would like to express my grateful thanks to all those who have presented the webinar so far. And today we have Dr. Hamada with us, and we know that he is very effective as a presenter and a game expert. So we will be enjoying while learning during the session. So not taking much time between all of you and Dr. Hamada. I am very happy to welcome him to this webinar. I'm also happy to welcome everybody, all the fraternity of ISAGA. I can see Elizabeth League. Welcome. All of you are welcome to another webinar, and I'm sure that most of you have already registered for ISAGA 2021. Now, long time is not left, so we will be having a very excellent, full of learning conference, but online this time. So with these words, once again, Dr. Hamada, you are welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, before inviting our speaker for the session, I would like to give their brief introduction to the audience. Dr. Ryoju Hamada is Associate Professor at Kumamoto University, Japan. Dr. Hamada is one of the opinion leaders in simulation gaming related academic community. He and his base project members started to develop business games in 2007 to utilize it as a part of entrepreneurship education in Tohaku University, Japan, and Thammasat University, Thailand. Dr. Hamada hosted the ISAGA 2018 with 160 participants from 21 countries. He worked as the president of ISAGA from 2018 to 2019. Currently, he is served at the National Institute of Technology, Asahikawa College, Hokkaido, Japan, as a professor. He is an academic chair and vice president of JASAG, also serving to ABSEL as a ready-to-play track chair. I once again welcome to Dr. Ryoju Hamada and request you, sir, to please start the session.
Thank you very much for your introduction. It is my great pleasure to make a speech at the glorious ISAGA 2021 webinar series. I am a 20th speaker from the beginning. I am a little bit feeling worried whether I can still talk for 1 hour without using Japanese. But anyway, I have prepared well, therefore I can do it. Okay, let's start today's session. Firstly, I'd like to share my screen. Can you see the proper beautiful sky and tree?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I will. Perhaps you are seeing the screen for the presenter. You are just seeing the title screen. Okay. And now you are seeing my profile, okay?
Yes.
Okay. Since I am using two screens at once, and sometimes I make a mistake. Sorry, and thank you for your confirmation, Dr. Vinod. My name is Dr. Ryoju Hamada. As you introduced to people, I am working in National Institute of Technology, Asahikawa College, commonly called KOSEN, from 2019. Before coming to Asahikawa, I was working in Thammasat University in Thailand from 2014 to 2019. Before that, I was working in Kumamoto University as a part-time associate professor from 2010 to 2012. That's why someone misunderstood my correct affiliation. Please correct the affiliation if you have a time later. Anyway, good to see you. And today I am going to introduce my work, and that is precious work achieved with student and faculty members collaboration. Let's go. I am a member of ISAGA since 2013 and participated most conference and I am going to also participate ISAGA India in 2021 as well. About talking about the JASAC, I am a member from 2009 and by the end of the June, by the end of May, I was in the position of academic committee chair. However, the board member has been re-elected and the new period has just started from June 1. Therefore, I'm waiting for the new role assignment. Talking about the TISIM, I joined TISIM in 2010. And except 2011, I participated and I make a lot of paper presentations and with my friends and with my students as well. I was staying in Thammasat University from 2014 to 2019. Therefore, I had a lot of opportunity to communicate with Dr. Sonsri and Dr. Rairat. Unfortunately, we can't see Dr. Sonsri again. It is my greatest sorrow that we cannot see her again. We can't participate her gaming session again. However, we have to go forward. Talking about upsell, currently I am doing the director and also doing gaming track chair as well. And NA Saga, North American Saga. That is, I have been member since 2017, and I make a workshop presentation in maybe October or September, last October or September by online. This is one of the scenes that I debuted to ISAGA 2013. It was our first challenge to introduce our gaming to the International Academic Society. This is an award, but we can't read it anymore, so let's skip. In ISAGA 2014, following the Stockholm conference in 2013, on the left side, you can see the poster. It seems quite normal. And this is a dinner time with Dr. David Crockwell. However, amazingly, I have been nominated as a Best Poster Award then. And we got a present. It was a very nice watch, my treasure. And in 2014, on JASAG autumn conferences, I got autumn conference, I got the best paper award with my research colleague, Dr. Tomomi Kaneko, who is working as a president of ISAGA Summer School this year. Okay, and as already explained to people, I was in the charge of co-chair of ISAGA 2018 conference that was held in Mahidol University, Dr. Sonseri's University, on July 2018 for 5 days. It was so busy days, and I don't remember everything in detail. However, it was a precious memory that I never forget. That is achieved with my lot of support from JASAG, and also we also worked hard with Ajahn Sonseri and Ajahn Rairat and Ajahn Nopanan and so on. My belief why I am creating game. This is my basic theory called TBS principle. Technology is the origin of innovation, and technology can be sustainable in business. And business must be accommodated to the society. That is basic understandings. I am working with engineering students from the beginning. And engineering students need to learn business business from the beginning to end. We need to learn a business flow gradually and quickly. They need to learn. However, it is quite difficult and without a previous knowledge. That's why I am developing a business game in many ways. That is an introductory speech, and let's proceed to the next session, traditional ways of game development. Firstly, at the beginning of my speech, I'd like to excuse to you, gaming is not only the way to conduct something, teach something to your students. Gaming is just one of them. If you can teach by blackboard or by doing homework, if you can do other types of active learnings, I think you are correct. If you think other way is better, I think you are correct. You don't have to include business game. Sorry, you don't have to use gaming. That is not only the one way. Please understand this story at the beginning. Nextly, mindset is also important. Please be positive to make your game and to apply your game to your lecture. How about those two? Yes, this little boy is saying, my dad is making a business game to enjoy and play with his friends. Mysterious father, indeed. However, how about this teacher's idea? I don't like game, but since students appreciate it, I do it. Which one is most suitable to become a great game? Maybe we don't need to discuss anymore. However, I know many game developers are in the bottom of valley called loneliness. Yes, you have a strong motivation to let students happy, like spring leaves on the tree. However, your colleges, your institutes, your faculty is, I can't assure they support you. Gaming, catering, not a research. superficial way. Like this, in many cases, I know many actual cases that game developers has been isolated in his community and feeling tired or depressed. In such a case, you should communicate with people who is in outside of your campus. Why do you make your game alone? ISAGA community are willing to help you like this. Vinod, you have to help your participants later, okay? Dr. Elizabeth, please help the followers as well. Yes, we can do it. The ISAGA is a wisdom, collection of wisdom of simulation and gaming. That's why we are doing this kind of webinar. However, we want to exchange our knowledge and we want to deliver our knowledge to the next generation. However, COVID-19 pandemic, we can't meet physically. We can't travel to other country. And considering that COVID-19 related story separately, traveling expense is enormously expensive from our current value of money. And conference, webinar, this webinar series is great challenge. I appreciate your effort. However, before the Corona age, we hadn't idea to make a webinar or to discuss by Zoom so much frequently. Therefore, even we want to meet an expert of simulation gaming, we had a less opportunity to see in actually. So, but COVID-19 is not our responsibility. Someone who ate bat in somewhere in China, he is responsible for current situation. But we don't know in detail. Don't be depressed too much about COVID-19. Everyone is a victim. Don't worry. We can go over. We can do it. Okay. Nextly, endless loop of gaming related discussion. Everyone believes in this community. Game is fantastic. Game is magical. Everyone consider like this. And they start to create a new game. Green person is a new person who started to create a game. And they try to improve the game based on the request of his students. I have more ideas. We need more reality. Those kind of requests or feedback comes from PDCA cycle. They try to improve the game. However, as a result, it become complex game, difficult game. There are many complaints. No good. Too much difficult. I can't do it. Then the great game developer will feeling disappointed. What I am doing, feeling so sorry and disappear. That is a tragedy. We have to get out from this kind of loop and we have to keep motivation. In case we have to consider KPI method or PDCA cycle that is commonly used to evaluate the effectiveness of a project is really suitable for game development. But we don't discuss about this story in this moment. Okay? Why good game is good game cannot be sustained in the long range. I think the game is something between reality and easiness. If we seek our game become too much real, like a mirror of target industry, it will be too much heavy. If we will see just only for the student direction, learners and perspective, it will lack a reality and it will be too easy to apply for the real situation. That's why gaming, to make a gaming is a little bit difficult compared with other types of copyrighted work. Let's compare with book, neo simulation gaming, and toward active learning. That is our work in 2018, ISAGA 2018's work with a Johnson series. Book is always original. Book doesn't change its contents. Therefore, no need to adjust, no need to pay attention to readers once it has been published. However, in gaming work, author, the game developer, is alive. Author continues teaching in somewhere, and author pursues reality. Authors want to improve the game. Meanwhile, author can see the participants, learners, students as well. Therefore, authors must be involved into the serious dilemma to make the game improve or easier, make it easier. Okay, so to break out, to break through this situation, I think community is only one way. However, we have to mention a very important story that gaming related idea or gaming related idea is a typical tacit knowledge. Tacit knowledge exists in your brain. You don't have to pull out those ideas by words because you can manage the tacit knowledge without optimize those ideas. However, without optimization, the third party cannot understand your idea. You have to you have to make your tacit knowledge into explicit knowledge that is needed to discuss with others. However, it accompanies a lot of energies to optimize. It takes time. And sometimes you will feel bored and sometimes feeling doubt my work to optimize my gaming. For example, to make a manual is one of the typical way to optimize your tacit idea. However, you don't need manual because you know everything. In such a case, the doubt comes up, raise up. Is it really effective? Do I have to do such a work? Then he will quit communication. Feeling disappointed, I will go on my way alone. That's too much sad. You need a partner because your idea is great to encourage students by using games. I want to help those kind of developers. Therefore, I recommend you, I propose you a new way to make your game more interactive and more fun. That is students, to invite a student as a partner of your game development. Students are eager to join your work, maybe. Why do you make alone? Do you make your game alone? In many cases, after you finish the game session, they are feeling happy and they are smiling and they say it was fun. I want to replay. I want to make my game, my own game like this. Why you don't use this kind of positive power, positive energy to improve your game? Students might be a great partner. I believe so. They understand the rule. They understand the characteristics of the game. They have a strong interest to improve the game. they want to replay the game. By playing many times, your game will be more stable and good. And students are generally speaking, students are young and they are free from prejudice, unnecessary prejudice, to bias the target, running, target industry. Prejudice is harmful. Pure white mind and young power is a great tool to develop your game, improve your game as well. Once again, gaming is a little bit different from a book. If you write a book, you can consider just knowledge, discipline, logic, and so on. That is possible to type by keyboard. However, when we consider about the game, motivation, exciting, ambience, joy, disappointed, sad, and so on, those kind of emotional factors are also important to attract people's mind to your game. Therefore, those emotional factors are already shared in your students. Therefore, by sharing those touching ideas with students, you are standing on the origin of the student-teacher collaboration, in my idea. Outline of our trial from 2003 to 2020. Firstly, we have conducted approximately 100 workshops or lectures. When I say one lectures, it sometimes it is 32 hours, 32 school hours lecture, very long lecture. Sometimes just a 2 hours workshop. So it is difficult and less meaningful to count up the number. However, just for your information, the number of participants exceeds over 2,000. We got 9 hours, 19 games, 160 student game developers, 3 companies has 3 university related venture has been launched from our project, and cultivated 1 master students at the end. We have currently 19 different types of game. First one is a manufacture and its related works. Manufacture is a basic idea of recent to understand engineering and business. Nextly, supply chain is a quite important idea. We developed this kind of game mostly in Silinton International Institute of Technology, Thailand. With Thai students, we created a lot of various versions of supply chain related games. That is indicated in purple color. Medical service that comes from need of early days of our clients. Medical service and sales of medical device and so on. Software development, that story comes to you soon later. And recently, we are extending our arms to the non-business sector like this, life planning and migrator issue, and so on. Currently, we have 19 games. Okay. About this chart, please look at and please take a look and later. I will send the PowerPoint to Dr. Binold later. This is manufacture game. You can see a red item and blue, red, blue, and green and yellow item. That is a company. And you can see some pieces that is a material, workers, engineers, and salesperson, and so on. Basic process is very simple: buying material, make products, and sell it in the market by bidding. Finally, they will complete BS and PL without using a computer by handwriting. That is one of the factors that our game made let ISAGA people surprised in ISAGA 2013. They named our game as Japanese business game. This is the origin of us and base software game. You will become a president of a software development company, and you will make a positive loop to become billionaire, to be able to make a great software and become rich. Spiral of success is described by 4 levels: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. And this game has been frequently used in Europe, France. Yes, there is a university called Epitech in Paris. And since Epitech was a partner university of SIIT, Tamasat University, I was appointed as a visiting professor in there. It was always January in January. Yes, Paris. January is Paris is no good. It's not fun. Too cold. Not yes. I visited mostly all of the museums, famous museums. But however, I couldn't feel satisfied. Therefore, I visited Dr. David on Saturday and Sunday. Supply chain. We will skip those detailed works. Medical device. Fishery. This is also quite interesting. It takes just 30 minutes to learn tragedy of commons. They can catch the fish without a limitation. And once they increase the option requirement to win is to increase the sales revenue. Therefore, they increase the number of the ship. They catch a lot of fish, and finally, X day will come. That is a very interesting and impressive game. Base macroeconomics game. Unfortunately, about this game, we missed the small parts. Therefore, I have to find out those items by contacting the original authors. However, it is quite difficult to recover. We have such a game as well. Construction, that is the main topic from 2017 to 2018, our biggest work in SIIT. Okay, they are all handmade. And this is a quite interesting chart. I think the game development consists of two important dimensions. One is idea, and the other one is development. This is a chart to show the appropriate effort of original idea comes from students or teacher. Look at this red number in red square. For hospital game, 50% from students, 50% from teacher. Manufacturing, 50 by 50. We collaborated together. About the software, idea came from outstanding students, mostly, and we collaborated to develop the game with him. There are some exceptions. Yes, supply chain game was mostly, that is a great invention of Dr. Kaneko, my research colleague, the president of ISAGA Summer School 2021. However, its derivative work has been developed by SIIT's students mostly. Like this, from the perspective of original idea and development and process, we shared, we separated, and we collaborated the effort we donated the effort from student side and the teacher's side. That is one of the evidence of student-teacher collaboration in our project. Yes, in those days, I was like a president of small business in huge university. Yes, I was in the valley of enemies. They don't understand gaming. They don't understand my idea to manage the business, manage my laboratory. It was not an official laboratory. Therefore, we had to be entrepreneur to sustain our work. Even today, we are still close. We still have a close relationship with those previous students as well. Okay, friendship. Sorry for Indian participants. In India, people don't drink alcohol drink in public space. But however, in Japan, it is common before Corona era. Recently, we can't do it at all. We forgot this kind of a situation. But however, many people, you can find many faces that are fulfilled with delight. Nextly, I'd like to explain example of student-teacher collaboration for the detail and management of base project. The basic structure of base project starts from seminar or camp, big events using business game that gathers next generation's participants. Well-motivated students will join to the project. Students immersively run games and then they will start developing new games, maximizing their interest and skill in adequate stages. And finally, to find the next right person in right position and preparing for the generation change. That is the basic cycle of base project. Meaning of the base stand for business, accounting, school, and entrepreneurs. Why we insist entrepreneurs? The reason is already explained to you. Gaming is not recognized as a research at the beginning in Tohoku University. Therefore, we had to maintain the strong motivation to fight against the traditional conventional framework. That's why we are sure we are entrepreneurs by doing game developments. At the beginning, two students came out and visited my office. That is the origin of our game development and history. And the missions has been little bit changed. At the beginning, we passed to connect connect the touching experience to the next generation. Nextly, we got a game. Therefore, to develop the game becomes the biggest concern. Lastly, from 2014, I quitted Tohoku University and worked on Tamasato University. It was a great shock for the Japanese students, and they considered Hamada will make a mistake in there. Hamada is feeling isolated in there. Maybe, therefore, we have to go to help him. That kind of international, global level, human circulation become a hot issue after 2014. To become a member of our project, we didn't require anything about simulation and gaming. No knowledge or experience is required. Instead, just soft mindset, flexible mindset. Be able to love your business game. You have to be able to become first lover or your business game. Maybe Lee Sensei still remember this story. I introduced this story in Taisim Summer School in 2015, just after the Kyoto conference. Positive, ambitious, collaborative, tough, that kind of ideas. And since we have an opportunity to make a gaming session with business personnel, therefore, no tattoo, no smoking. We don't say no alcohol. That's Japanese culture. Proper dress. Come to school every day. If the telephone rang, you have to answer. That kind of promise is strictly followed by students and teachers. Uh, so therefore, beginners are welcome. But this kind of a person, what I want is just a credit. Your project seems easier than others. May I join to your project? In such a case, absolutely no. You should find others. That make you happy. Other project is better for you. はい。In 2009, to make sure what we are doing, we make a constitution called the Great Charter. Great Charter includes a purpose. We will develop the analog game. We will contribute to the society. We will be a most ambitious and innovative group in the huge university. We will create a flat, equal, diverse communication, regardless of their origin, including student and teacher. We will be independent from the budget. We will be we will make sure the interdisciplinary research or interdisciplinary work really exists. Finally, we will promise that we will be a leader of game developers. This was a promise in 2009. Students result from students questionnaire. Why you join the business game? Why you join to the base project? Business game is a top, and Ryoju Hamada is second, and humans cluster around Hamada is number 3. Game and people that is useful, quite important for the recruiting and new talents. Secondly, what you obtained throughout the base project. Knowledge and skill 80%, friends 80%. Maybe no need to explain anymore. Knowledge is important, but friendship is precious. Do you like business game? Do you like base project? Strongly yes and yes. Total percentage exceed 80%. Did your experience in base project worked well? This one also exceeds 80% by strongly yes and yes. Therefore, I believe the experience and opportunity called base project was fruitful for students in long-term career as well. We are independent and small company in the huge university. Therefore, we purchased a commercial van to promote sales. I have never seen a university teacher buying this kind of car and sharing this kind of car with my students as well. We went to everywhere to wherever there is an opportunity. And sometimes we extended our project to the different purpose of different purpose and project that is necessary to show our presence in the society. Globalization become a very important urgent issue at the end. We tried to join to the faculty development and people's network. And I got a budget and I got a reason to visit those universities that are famous from the perspective of faculty development. They are mostly in USA, led by famous pedagogists. And I went to USA as an academic trip. However, I've never ordered them. I've never asked them. However, they purchased the airline ticket and they followed me. and they got a lot of opportunity. One of them, this guy, he followed me, and in this moment, later he got a official outside official exchange student opportunity later. And therefore, it is quite important and quite interesting story. We went to UC Berkeley to sell our manufacture game. I'm not joking. In that period, amazingly, including me, sorry, the PowerPoint is a little bit long. 5 students and 1 teacher, totally 6 persons joined in Western Coast in 2009. And we considered that North America is difficult to spread anymore. Therefore, we changed the destination to the Thailand. We will skip those stories. However, you can see on the left side, she is a Thai, but she was an exchange student of Tohoku University. And those 3, this is Dr. Kaneko, and those 2 are student teacher. This is student teacher as well. And the student teacher got a laboratory like a faculty member and behaved as if he is a faculty member. In fact, he is an undergraduate student, 4th-year students. Amazing. Many people came around to take a look. Hamada is doing well or not. Dr. Kaneko has appointed as a visiting professor of SIIT from 2011. Like this, we got a lot of wonderful circulation of people between Japan and Thailand. That is the most fruitful result of our work. Truly, gaming is the future's language. Gaming strongly impressed Japanese students and also Thai students as well. I believe this story, and this is a quite important phrase for us. But however, I recognize the value of and strong. I appreciate his strong insight of meaning of game. Throughout the exchange of people, I got the confidence that I can move to Thailand. Even I moved to a foreign country to fight again in the global competition of researchers. I can continue my R&D. That become a motivation to migrate to SIIT. Finally, management of student-teacher collaboration. Once again, basically, game developer is often in the bottom of loneliness. To get out from this situation, student-teacher collaboration is quite precious. However, I have some notice to you. Firstly, step-in student principle. The author has never called a student from my side like this. You are so much talented. I want to work with you. Please join to our project and so on. We never say this kind of way because if there is a bias or influence of outside, perhaps he might be regret later. Since he considered well based on his will, he decided myself and he come to his own will. There is no regret. So selecting a student is based on students' positive idea. I still keep this rule. Nextly, once you got your students, you have to let the students relaxed and increase friendship between students and students. I strongly recommend this way. And this is a human resource management structure. Firstly, step in. Nextly, enjoy the game. Nextly, they start to teach the game. They will got a role in project. Finally, they will cultivate a comfortable atmosphere and it will make a miracle result. Okay? One of the we call amazing growth of students are often seen in our project. I named temporary awakening. This is not common for all students, but however, every year, in every generation, I saw this kind of well-talented person or strongly motivated person. This is Palm Passive, one of the students in 2014 to 2015. I took him to a Taisim conference and we met Dr. Crockwell. In that moment, since he was good to understand the importance of game and he has a lot of experience. Dr. David appointed him as a translator and assistant. Even though he didn't know anything about his game and his existence, he performed a translator and assistant perfectly. That is one of the evidence of amazing growth, awakening. Those two make a company, and amazingly when they established the business game seminar company, they were 20 years old and 19 years old. They were undergraduate first year students of undergraduate students in Tohoku University School of Economics. Sometimes they can behave like students and they can increase the friendship between other students as well. But sometimes they behave as if they are a faculty member and they are often asked, are you a faculty member? はい。Finally, so right man in the right position, not only the game development, but also, for example, since this person is good at English, I assign her to the international coordinator. If he is good at writing, I will assign him as a publication officer and so on. Since we managed our project like a company, we could find out a lot of opportunity to maximize individuals' skill. That is one of the key factors that our student-teacher collaboration worked well. Okay. That is most of the story. Lastly, I'd like to mention to you two stories, considerations. I am afraid my story is just an accidental result. Perhaps you might think so. However, we can't explain why business game sustained for 18 years if it is just an accidental result. We had a business game and we had a human cluster. Therefore, we could continue. Secondly, basically clever. If students is just a normal students, we can't gain such a result. The answer is no. At least in SIIT, most students were GPA loser. However, some of them awakened, as if like Tohoku University's students. Therefore, if there is a good ambient and the atmosphere to encourage the joy, it is possible to lead miracle result. I love game. Me too. You love game, and we want to maintain. The game and society, game and culture, and in worldwide. We can do it. And my suggestion to you is to include your students to your journey. It might work well. Thank you very much for your attention. And sorry for being a little bit late.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Vinod.
Hi. I'm here.
Hello.
This is Rupali.
You can invite the questions, please.
Yes, sir. Am I audible now? Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
please. Yes, please.
Thank you, sir. I now request panel members and participants to please ask their questions. You can write your questions in the QA tab.
There are a couple of questions in the chat box. Probably you could read them in the Q&A box.
Yes. Okay. I will read the questions. First
Yeah.
question is from Nikshay Parmar. He is asking that what should we have to do to be
There's no sound. There's no sound.
Rupali madam, you were not audible.
But that question
Pali,
is
you
the
repeat the question.
is a question and answer, sir. The question can be taken from the Q&A section. Vinod, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, first question is
First question is, may I answer to the first question?
Yes, please. Please
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead.
Okay. The first question was, why can't we build virtual reality multiplayer battle game? Virtual reality battle game? Sorry, I don't understand the meaning of. I don't understand the meaning of this question. Sorry. I am not an expert on this kind of gaming, VR and so on. Sorry. For second one, why should we have to do to be a game developer? That's a good question. Firstly, there is some very famous book about game building. Therefore, to read that kind of book in your mother language is the most easiest way. I think so. However, basically, this kind of idea, game developer is not common in higher education. Therefore, after reading those books, it's your turn. In that case, in that moment, if you like your game, if your passion can continue your development, that is okay. Where your passion come from? That is your love to your game. If you are sure you can become a first lover of your game, positive mindset. If you have a positive mindset, I think that is enough. Okay, for the third question, MATLAB. Sorry, as Vinod already answered to it. MATLAB has any use in game simulation? Yes, students are used to simulate the result of game by using MATLAB, but it is not necessary in our game. If we have a time to operate the computer, we gather people and we try as a real experience. That is easier and quicker. That was my idea. Okay, I think I answered most of them.
thank you, sir. Is there any other question from the panel members?
Yeah, just explanation point of view, this question is that you have shared the success stories of involving the students in the participation of the development of the games. So can you share any challenges that we face while involving the students in developmental phase of the game?
You want to So you want to know the future of our project?
Yeah, yes, sir. That means when we develop a game with the help of the participating of the students, then which type of challenges we face? Actually, you have shared the success points. So any challenges you faced, that is my question.
About game effectiveness, it is commonly seen in ISAGA related journals. I use before questionnaire and after questionnaire by using filling same questions. And if the understanding level is going up, we consider this is maybe effective. Of course, we will do T calculation and P calculation and so on to make sure this is not an accidental result.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I have just one question.
Yes.
Dr. Hamada, is your games more popular outside Japan or they are more popular in Japan?
I don't think so. Gaming is still minor. Japanese lecture way. Japanese lecture is similar to Southeast Asia. Teacher speak and students listens. That is a basic. Of course, there are many exceptions, but exception includes non-gaming way as well. Therefore, I cannot say even in this age, gaming is a major way of learning in Japan. Moreover, Corona shock forced many higher education institute forced to do online lecture. Online lecture is very one way. Maybe you can understand. To online to play analog game online is to speak this story is easy, but to implement this idea is quite difficult. Therefore, we are gaming is still minor, and we have to continue our work. That is my opinion.
Thanks.
Sensei Hamada, there's one more question in the box. I'll read that out to you.
Yes.
There are two. The question is, can gaming be a career option?
Best career option?
I know the question is easy. The answer is
What is the meaning of this question?
What a questioner wants to know is, can he become a game designer, developer, and make a career out of it or a business out of it?
To become a game designer, as a professional of game designer, I don't recommend in this moment. However, to learn, optimize the target nature. For example, if you are going to make a business game of hospital, to learn and watch the hospital business model and optimize in the white paper, this skill is useful to become a good business person. Therefore, I recommend to learn this way. However, I don't recommend to become a professional game designer for common students in this moment. Sorry.
Thank you, sir. Elizabeth has a question for you. She wants to know what are the characteristics of students who make this process achievable for them. She has not said which process, so probably she means the game. Or maybe Elizabeth, would you like to clarify which process it is?
I'm just wondering, the students that you work with, they have characteristics that make them successful in that process. Are they different from from other students? Is it likely that some will be able to do that and others will not? to work with you in that way?
Yes, I think so. Because the interaction between students and the students sometimes cause the conflict as well. Therefore, we had to define we need to define the base grade charter or that kind of rule to manage our group. There are some students who quit the group because of they can't satisfy themselves in history. However, such students is minor. I think up to 2 or 3 in 100, more than 100.
Yeah.
Therefore, I think good communication and very convenient atmosphere was developed by students communication, and it is quite useful to study together, learn together, and go up.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Is there any other question?
I have a question.
Yes.
How do you see the future of your project right now in this COVID time?
Now I am on the way to rebuild the community. I have moved to Hokkaido on August 2019. And I am going to make a new base project group members, but it takes a time. COVID-19 related story. For example, I had a duty to do ISAGA Summer School 2020. And still, I am going to do 2021 as well. Before Corona era, it was possible to encourage the students. You can work in international stage. However, I can't do it. I can't invite anyone from outside. Therefore, I am still on the way to develop the human cluster again. On the way.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir, for your very interesting session. It will be really very helpful and wonderful for all students to make the gaming more attractive for learning. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to request founder of Mentis, Dr. Vinod Damblekar, to propose words of thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Rupal. Sensei Hamada, you took us through a variety of your base games and virtually the history and how they were performed. I think you must have had a challenge. I think the question that nobody asked you was, how did you speak to the Thai? In which language? Okay, that is an answer that I think you and I can find out separately. I think you made a big difference between games and learning conventionally. Games pricks or triggers your emotions, and you come out all angry or excited, and therefore you are eager to learn, you are eager to change. Whereas conventional teaching, which you say is pretty common in Southeast Asia and Japan and so many other places, is a fairly straightforward way of I don't know, passing time or just educating yourself. I remember you were a very active co-chairperson in Thailand, and after that getting the post proceedings right. So many papers, maybe 80 or more, I think, to get them all together. I know the challenges that you faced, and you're a pretty fiery person, very pushy person where simulations and games are concerned. It was wonderful to have you here today. Thank you, and I hope that we can see you more often at ISAGA 2021. Thank you, Sensei Hamada. Thanks a lot.
Namaste and arigatou gozaimashita.
Arigato and do more as well.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you, Vinod sir.
Thank you.
Thank you all for
Thank
being
you.
with us for this webinar. I request all the participants to please fill the feedback